Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here with the blue Slaan, which is the Heaven Slaan, sitting most serenely here by the poolside, no doubt very content. Going to be facing up against the foul Ratmen hordes. So let's go ahead and jump to the army compositions. Of course, we've got the blue Slaan here, and his spell loadout is going to be AoE damage focused, of course, since we're facing up against the Skaven, and this is a matchup that I think the Heaven Slaan can be pretty good in. So we've got Wind Blast, Chain Lightning, as well as Banishment, of course. The Banishment is bound, and, Chain Lightning and Wind Blast, of course, are spells. He also has the Blood Statuette of Spite for some more direct damage, and the Aura of Pretzels with the Shield of the Old Ones. Lots of really nice abilities on this guy, but the combination of the Chain Lightning, the Banishment, and the Wind Blast means he has tons of AoE damage options, great for clearing out loads of Skaven infantry. So in terms of my infantry, we've got, since we are on a map with plenty of water, we're gone with Skinks, of course. We've got 4 Skinks up front, 4 more Skinks with Javelins over to the sides, 2 Skink Skirmishers in front to screen, and 2 Kroxigors for some heavy hitting power. We've also got a Revivification Crystal, Saurus Scar Veteran on a Cold One for that anti-large armor piercing. This guy's job is to help protect the Slaan, basically. We've also got a Skink Chief, again for the Cold-Blooded, and he's on the Stegodon here for the Bolt Thrower, which for those of you guys who don't know, this is something I pointed out in previous videos, but it's worth pointing out again. Skaven artillery is actually very easy to destroy in terms of the artillery pieces themselves. Because they are very large unit models, they're very vulnerable to anti-large type artillery in, doing counter-artillery fire, like bolt throwers, for example, which the bolt thrower on the back of this Stegodon is going to be very good at that. So my opponent, seeing this, is going to wisely start pushing his infantry force forward. So let's go ahead and take a look at said infantry force. It's a little bit hard to see because of the jungle here, but we'll do our best. Up front, he's got lots and lots of chaff units. We've got Skaven slaves mixed with clan rats, spears, and shields. So lots of chaff, a little bit of anti-large. He's also got 1, 2, 3 storm vermin with halberds. I believe those are actually rat ogres. There's the storm vermin. We've also got 3 rat ogres, unit of poison wind globadiers. Lord Skrolk is the leadership, so let's go ahead and take a look at his spell loadout here. Little Skrolk has Libra Bubonicus, Rod of Corruption, Vermintide, Wither, and Blessed with Filth. So really nice spell loadout, very much like that. Both his items are very strong as well, so decent choice. I do think that this is probably one of the more competitive Lord choices for the Skaven is a Lord Skrolk in this particular guise. He's also got 2 Assassin Buddies here to help back him up. Of course, the Warp Lightning Cannon, and that pretty much rounds it out. So let's go ahead and get things rolling and watch what happens. So my opponent is going to be pushing his forces forward, but what that does allow me to do is kind of dictate the pace of this engagement and fight where I want to, which is going to be in this swamp, because of course all of these skink units have the aquatics special rule. If we go ahead and take a look here, it means they do not suffer penalties from being in water, and in fact they do gain some bonuses from fighting in water as well. So it's going to be very strong for me to fight these Skaven in the water. Obviously their Skaven infantry do not have the aquatic special rule, and you can see they're pretty much like waist deep in water, which is obviously quite alarming for the poor little ratmen. But we are going to be forcing them forward. So far we haven't, there just now we destroyed 1 artillery piece, so I'm going to go ahead and back up since my opponent's infantry is advancing, and we're going to kind of reposition a little bit here to meet them. Yeah, so far so good. Just going to kind of wait for the engagement to unfold and kind of do it at my own pace here, playing very much like this most serene Slaan here, just kind of chilling, waiting for the battle to come to me, and we'll, call in the big magic when the time is right. So, just screening out here with the Skink Skirmishers. They're shooting at Skaven Slaves right now, which is honestly not the best value, but just applying that poison, helping to do some leadership damage as well. That missile fire will damage their leadership a bit, and of course the poison does slow their advance even more. Obviously the combination of the shallow water and the poison here is going to make these Skaven units actually quite slow. So here come the, nope, actually looks like the Kroxigors backed away, not wanting to charge straight into those chaff units. Over here on this side, though, the Croc Score is charging in, going to be just demolishing these slaves, immediately sending them scrambling back to the safety of the jungle there, out of the shallow water here, and yeah, more Croc Scores charging through. We are going to be starting to call down some of that magic from this high Slaan, or sorry, the Heavens Slaan here. So I believe there's going to be a Wind Blast opening up. Yep, there's the template now. So just cleaving through the Skaven lines with that Wind Blast, doing a lot of damage. So far, only one kill from that, but it did quite a bit of HP damage to these clan rats with spears and so on in here. And now we are bringing out the Vortex spells. So here comes the first one right on top of these Storm Vermin, since it's the most high value infantry my opponent has. Gonna unleash this banishment, which just kind of hangs out right here. You can see the chain lightning also coming down, so just a torrent of magic being unleashed by the Heaven Slaan here. Very thematic. Fortunately, the chain lightning is going to catch some of these skinks here, but it did do quite a bit of damage, and after those two Vortex spells, this Slaan has gone from basically 0 kills to 213 kills. So that just shows you the power of the Heaven Slaan there, just getting a ton of kills. You can see another Wind Blast going down, just cleaving through these Skaven slaves and these clan rat spears here, and there are Skaven bodies all over the shallow water here. You can see the Storm Vermin's halberds sticking up out of the shallow water there. Very cool stuff. This has put me pretty well ahead on the balance powers. Things are still pretty close here. We've got Croc Scores fighting against Rat Ogres in the pits. Not exactly the best fight for the Croc Scores, but we do have plenty of missile support, and all the missiles that the Lizardmen can bring are going to be very good against Rat Ogres. It's one of the reasons that Rat Ogres are not super great against the Lizardmen, because they're very vulnerable to all the skink javelin fire. But you can see that, yeah, it's not the best situation for the Slaan here. He is getting attacked by these clan rats a little bit. The skinks will be able to support there some, but so far the Scar Veteran really hasn't been challenged too much. There hasn't been too much trying to get on the Slaan Maith Priest, you know, no Doom Wheels or Help It Abominations, anything like that. These two Skaven Assassins, on the other hand, are going to be very slippery and have managed to get into melee range with the Slaan, which is definitely a bad situation. He can do some damage in melee, but he definitely does not want to fight two Skaven Assassins by any means. Thankfully, though, with the support of the Javelins and the Terror from the Distillodon here, from good old Gary the Revification Crystal, going to be routing off those two Skaven Assassins, keeping the Slaan safe, at least for the moment. You can see we're pretty far ahead on the balance of power at this point. Lord Skrolk, not sure what happened to him. I believe he is actually routing there with almost all of his health, and it's very interesting. But yeah, you can see the Rat Ogres going down to that Skink Javelin fire. Many of the units shattering at this point. We've got Skinks kind of chasing off units in various places all around the field, but the focus of this replay is, of course, the Heaven Slaan himself here. So he's going to be floating towards the enemy here through the water. That Warp Lightning Cannon, unfortunately, is still online because of the shenanigans and the way my opponent engaged, which is what he should have done. We did, unfortunately, you know, not get that taken care of. I did neglect. I had a Bastillodon with the solar engine here that I kind of threw away early on. I had it deployed on this side of my formation, and I tried to come up and around over here, but it ended up getting isolated by a unit of Storm Vermin that I didn't see here and kind of routed off. But it didn't get completely wiped out, so it is still going to be able to come back here in the fourth quarter and maybe charge into this Warp Lightning Cannon here. But you can see another Chain Lightning being dropped that was right on top of these Storm Vermin here. Lord Skrolk is fighting the Revification Crystal with the support of these Storm Vermin here, who will definitely be able to do some damage here. But just at this point, the Skaven forces are very low on leadership. You can see, oh man, very cool charge animation coming in from the Croc Scores. I love this charge animation. They're just going to come in here and lay an absolute pounding on these poor Storm Vermin. You can see they're very heavy hits, just so much weight and mass to them. Just going to be cleaving these Storm Vermin to bits. They're definitely not liking the situation, and I'd imagine the Terror from the Bastillodon will kick in relatively shortly here. Fortunately, the Slaan is still getting hunted. More clan rats just relentlessly from my opponent, doing a very good job trying to take down the Slaan. Unfortunately, he has already got 260 kills, so even if the Slaan goes down at this point, you know, I've definitely got my value out of him, so he's going to be floating off, trying to get to a safe location while we kind of wrap things up here. So far, though, looking pretty dicey. Only 400 hit points. We did drop the Revification Crystal to try and heal him up, but only a couple more volleys there from the Warp Lightning Cannon will be able to take care of him, but I'm not sure. I think they may have changed their targeting. not 100% sure there, but the Skink Chief did take quite a bit of damage, but did rally as well. Going to be firing in from the side here, and unfortunately the Slaan is still routing. At this point, we're pretty much just trying to take care of the leadership. We've got the Assassins around. This Assassin's being, clubbed by Croc Spores, and the rest of these units here are going to be rallying. Lord Skrulk is in this pocket here, but the Croc Spores is just going to be sending the Ratmen flying, with Gary, the Revivification Crystal, close by. Looks like a Wither going to be dropped from Lord Skrulk here, lowering the armor of a lot of these units, but even still, those Croc Spores are at 70 armor. Obviously, they have anti-infantry and very heavy weapon strength, so they're going to be, the Storm Vermin there will be no match, unfortunately. Slaan does rally at the last moment with 14 hit points, so he is barely still alive, and has definitely done his duty here. Is going to float on home and eat some Cheetos and some Doritos and whatever else, what other kind of junk foods that Slaan no doubt consume. So very well played to my opponent. It was a fun battle. Pretty decent Skaven list, I would say. There are maybe a few things I would change. Sorry, I just smacked my mic a little bit there, so hopefully that didn't come through too much. But yeah, 160 kills on those Croc scores, 261 by the end there from the Slaan. So just goes to show how much those AoE damage spells can just rip apart the Skaven formations. A lot of his forces here just really didn't perform. Even the Storm Vermin, which is kind of where he put a lot of his melee money, is really banking on the Storm Vermin to pull through, and just the magic just decimated them completely. So the Rat Ogres as well faced a lot of Skink Javelin fire, which is pretty rough. As you can see, 106 kills and 100 kills on Skink cohorts is pretty impressive, considering this is a chaff unit, essentially. Getting this many kills, no doubt they were chasing some Skaven slaves or something like that. But yeah, all across the board, doing very well for my opponent. It just kind of got forced into a really rough situation there. That map was particularly favorable to me, of course, because I have aquatics, and yeah, me having the counter artillery fire, forcing him to fight kind of on my terms, which was in that swampy area, definitely favored me. So pretty rough day for Wriggleback, unfortunately, but very well played to him. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.